Wednesday, September 13th, 0701 a.m. New York time. Good morning. Going to do a top down of the equity indexes. Primary, the S&P 500, but the other equity indexes are weighted into the S&P 500. Since we're almost at the middle of the month, I consider it important to include the monthly charts as well as the weekly, daily, intraday. So we'll start off first with the monthly charts, meaning each candle represents the current month. So here we're looking at a 5-year chart of the SPX, that's the cash S&P 500. The current candle, the current month is an inside candle. Yellow candle simply means it didn't take out the high or low of the prior month. Right? We're in the middle of the month almost, and it still hasn't broken out above or below the prior month. That means indecision, facts, indecision. Also have a consolidation phase here. These 3 candles in a consolidation phase. This happens to be the high of the year right here, that green candle. There's a low of the candle there. So we have a trend from the bottom of last year. Excuse me, that went up here. So the low there, the high there. From that, I have a Fibonacci. Got it? Just showing potential retracement to a 0.382. It would be reneged, won't be valid anymore if we break above here, that high. And this big prior month, big wick on the bottom, tested midpoint here, rejected it. Again, that was showing bullish bias. Buyers like that. They bought on the dip. NASDAQ 100, same thing, inside candle for the month. There's a high for the year. Very close to the high of last year. Dow Jones Industrial Average, same thing. Here's a high for the year. Inside candle, tight consolidation range. You saw that? Most of the year, the Dow was in a tight trading range. It wasn't so much trending. First last year, was it trending down? This year, consolidation, breakout to the upside, going up. The Dow is a good index apparently this year. Dow Transports broke below the low of last month, so it's trending down. Dow Transports, yep. There's a high for the year. There's a low for the year. I would say that midpoint should be labeled on that prior month, potential retest area. Dow Utilities, new low for the year. Yep. Be nice if the utility companies give back some money they took and taken for the overpriced utilities to the consumer. New low for the year. What does that mean? That means utilities are not a top priority for investors to be buying. Utilities typically pay the higher dividends. Well, apparently, if they believe stocks are going to grow, growth stocks are going to outperform, then you wouldn't want to be buying nor holding for long-term the utility stocks. Utility stocks are defined typically as a defensive stock when they think the economy is going to slow down or growth of stocks is going to slow down. That hasn't proven to be. The market is still hot. Tech sector is the hottest. And the Russell 2000, look at that inside candle from the prior month too. Here's the high for the year. Here's the low for the year. Look at that huge consolidation since last year. They are struggling. A lot of it deals with the interest rates. They are much more affected by higher interest rates. So right off the bat, we're looking at the monthly chart again. Notice the Dow Transports and the Dow Utility both broke the low of last month. They are bearish bias. Whereas the leader, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones are still inside the range of the prior month. They are strong. What does that mean? Well, if you're bullish, you focus on stocks in those index. If you're bearish, you focus on shorting stocks in these. Now we'll take it to the faster time frame, to the lower time frame, the weekly. So now each candle represents the week. And we're in the middle of the week here. It's hump day. So again, we're now looking at a 3-year chart. Each candle represents a week. Still looking at the SPX cash. And we're still inside the range of last week, right here. And we made a reversal almost, until we break that low. But again, this high here, we haven't taken out the high or low. So it's a consolidation area. Yep. But again, lower highs. Seasonal. This time of year, you won't expect it to go down. Nasdaq 100, we got the same thing. Inside candle consolidation. Dow Dow Industrials, same thing, inside candle. Which is interesting. Let's right off the bat, I'll show you here. When you look at each of these, the Dow this week and last week, the S&P 500 this week and last week, both inside candles. Nasdaq 100 this week and last week, both inside candles. Where the Dow had a sell-off last week that took out that prior, so they were more bearish there. Again, leadership technology, Nasdaq 100. Dow, much more diversified in the other categories. Dow Transports, as expected, we broke below the low of last week. Right here at midpoint, where buyers have been before. So we will see if this area, around that 15,000 and above here, is going to have buyer step in, or if we're going to break below it. Dow Utilities, I need to move this down. Yep, so we had a hammer here, bullish pin bar, swing low here. The low of it wasn't tested, but that prior week was, and buyer stepped in here. So maybe they feel it's the low of the year. Let's unzoom this, go to 3 years. Yep. So that low of last year here, all the way there, but that candle that week, buyers already stepped in there. So maybe one could consider a trade idea right down here. If you understand options, you could do bull put spreads right down here on the index. Or you could look at the stocks inside the index, look for the strongest stocks inside the index that are trading better than this index, and do bull put spreads. It's a trade idea. You could be making money monthly. Russell 2000. Well, like I said, middle of the month, and look how small the trading range here is. Still inside the range of the prior week. Such a small trading range. Again, a lot of panic selling here. Why? Well, interest rates have continued going higher. Affect the Russell 2000. Now let's take it to the daily time frame. Look at a 1 month chart. Each candle is a day. Look at yesterday's close. Yesterday's close for the S&P 500. Close red, made a lower high, lower low, trending down. I am in a bearish position. I bought S&P 500 put options yesterday, and in the futures, they're already showing gains. Very nice. Maybe I'll close them today for profits. So here, ran a Fibonacci from the bottom here to the top there. Green horizontal line is a Fibonacci level 0.382, and the blue horizontal line is a Fibonacci 0.618. The red that I label red is 50%. That is not a Fibonacci. I have it shown because I want to know where midpoint is, 50% from the high and low. All these are important to me. And what happened here when this trend went down, it was a deep retracement, broke the 50%. Then you see this green candle, went all the way down just shy of 0.618. What does that mean? It's telling me that this retracement, because it was so deep, nearly 0.618, has a lower probability that it's going to break above this high on the next trend. So this is the current next trend. The trend was going up. We want to expect it's not going to break above this high. It may not even make it to that high. And look, it already started to reverse. Also notice this gap here has not been filled, has rejections. Right here was a rejection the prior day. Very nice, as expected. And now we're in a huge consolidation here too. Yep. Nice triggers. So I shared this trade idea yesterday to my Patreon members. They had the opportunity to get in. It was during regular trading hours. If they didn't take the trade during regular trading hours, well, those that have accounts approved to trade futures, which I always recommend to have accounts that like trade futures, no problem. We get to trade in the extended hours. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go on to the next. NASDAQ 100, same thing. Broke below the low of yesterday. Dow Jones Industrial Average, look at that, made a higher high, made a lower low. Yep. Bearish pin bar, looks like it might be a bearish stop hunt. Huge wicks here, a lot of rejection. Dow Transports broke below that low, lower high, lower low. Even though it closed green, still bearish. Look, lower high, lower low. The decision candle down there too. Like a dodgy. Not good. And the Dow Utilities, same thing. Lower high, lower low. And I have a gap down there. Nice trade set up there. Wow. Inside candle. Panic selling, inside candle indecision. Nice entry would have been the entry right above there. Nice. And the Russell 2000 struggling down there. And let's take it to the intraday of the overnight futures. Take it to the equity indexes. Here we go. These are futures. Looking at the 1 hour. Here's the high of yesterday. Here's the low of yesterday. So overnight, the equity S&P 500 futures made a new low, broke below the low of yesterday. Again, that's good for my trade. Very nice. Let's put this on a 4 hour. Show you what's going on here. We had that gap up a few days ago, right there. That was a close. That was the open. And we're now trading below that gap. As expected, this gap get filled. Very good. I expected to see some faster gains this morning. Might have more panic selling. Benefits us people that got in the trade yesterday. Good job out of you. Or if you took the trade overnight last night as well too. 1 hour chart of the NASDAQ 100. Same thing, already trading below the low of yesterday. So let's get to the 4 hour. There you go. Potential area of a trade eye there for a new one. Impulse move down on the NASDAQ 100 there on the futures. Right there, I have it labeled midpoint. Stand this out. Maybe that would be a place where buyers would step in. So a potential target on the downside, as well as potential break below and close below that. Well, that'd be bearish. Test it, reverse, that'd be bullish. One could look on this on the faster time frames. If you're intraday trading from the 1 hour to the 30-minute. Look at that. Now on the 4 hour for the Dow 30. That's interesting. So this, the Dow 30, did not break the low of yesterday. No, it's still trending down, but it's not as weak as the other two, being the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 and the Russell 2000. I mean, the Russell 2000. Oops. Yeah, see what happened here. It broke below, here was the low of yesterday, tested below it, struggling. Again, the Russell 2000, smaller company values. Again, I focus on the big boys, the most heavily traded ones. Mentioned here the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the Dow 30. Finishes off by just putting this back to the 1 hour. So come 8 o'clock a.m. this morning, expect to see more activity. Because as we start coming to economic news, 8 o'clock, 8:30, going forward, the futures. But again, these can be traded right now.